Welcome back, my pupils. Today we're going to be taking a look at some best millimeter. How about that? Let's get them out. We are going to be talking about the best millimeter. Yes, that's 10 millimeter. 10 millimeters. We're going to be looking at 4 different levels of 10 millimeters. We're going to start in the basement, go to the 3rd floor, then to the 6th floor, and then go to the top floor. Here is the first offering, and this is basement level 10 millimeter. Let me tell you what. But just like being in the basement, you always find things that you find interesting and neat, don't you? You always find things tucked back in the corner that everybody else forgot about. But every time you search that basement and you find something like that, it just makes you smile. Well, here we have the Highpoint JXP 10 millimeter pistol. This is unloaded. Nothing in the chamber. Everything is safe. No ammunition on the review bench. I purchased this pistol when it first came out. I mean, I was probably one of the first in my area to get my hands on one of these because I had a very good friend who was part owner in a very big chain of commercial gun stores and ranges. So he has since retired from there and moved on to a different job, but nonetheless, he let me have this before they were actually supposed to be released onto the counter. They had them in the back room. They had already been shipped, and I finagled one out of him. And I'll tell you what, I'm very glad I did. This thing is so much fun to shoot. Every time you pull that trigger, it will just make you smile. Now, I do have a complete series on this Highpoint JXP in my playlist, and if you want to go through and watch that, everything I've done to it in detail, I've got it on there. But this thing is super, super heavy, man. It's like holding a little handle onto a brick. I mean, that top end is so heavy because these are blowback system firearms. You know, Highpoints are made right here in OH10 where I live, and one of the little factories is in the town that I live in. So I get to see these a lot at all the local gun stores. I did some spring kit work to it. I did some trigger to it. I put a optic mount on there, and I put a Gideon optic. I'm not sure which one that is. They sent that one and only to me for test and review. I guess they didn't like my review very much, but I was pleased with it. So I've got that mounted on there. It holds 0 under the 10 millimeter. I have shot everything from just range loads on this all the way to plus P plus power loads where you can just feel that slide slam the back of that frame. It's almost too obnoxious, but it is so much fun to shoot. I have a great time with it. It's got a nice yellow front sight on there that you cannot co-witness for anything because you have to take your sight off of it to put the optic plate and the optic on it. But that's okay. It does have a functioning safety, and the safety just keeps the slide from coming back. That's all it does. But it has been a fun firearm. I purchased me a case of equal value to the firearm for it. Case probably cost more than the firearm did in the extra magazines. But man, this thing is fun, fun, fun. So that is my basement pick. Next, we're going to take a ride up the elevator to the 3rd floor. On the 3rd floor, we come up with the Smith & Wesson MP 2.0 in 10 millimeter. Now, this 10 millimeter is clear. There is no ammunition in the magazine. There is nothing in the chamber. And you got the cover off of the dot. Now, I did some custom work to this. I personally Cerakoted and re-stippled this so you can see where it's got that tiger stripe Cerakote on there that changes with the light hits it. I did that on purpose. I'm a little crafty. But then I re-stippled the front grip panels all the way around so it matched up nice and even. I do have the medium-large backstrap palm swell on there because, well, I've got kind of meaty hands, and I have no problem handling a 10 millimeter. On top there, I have a Swamp Fox Justice optic, which is a red dot. You can co-witness the sights through the dot. No problem at all with that. The trigger on here is a bit gritty. Hear that? But once you get it back to the wall, pull the trigger, hit the reset. It's not bad. It's not bad for a stock trigger. I did think about upgrading this, but it's just fun to shoot the way it is. You know, it's just a good time to go out, take some average power load 10 millimeter out, and just have a good day with it. Magazines do flip out of it quite nice. They do spit out. I actually thought about buying some extra mags and running this in limited class and taking the optic off and running limited class in USPSA, because when you bring a 10 millimeter out, everybody freaks. I mean, they do. They even hear you got a 10 millimeter and everybody comes and sees it. But this is third floor. Yeah, this is third floor. It's been 100% reliable for me. I know other people have shown problems on YouTube, but I have not had that issue with them. And this is my one of one sample. And I have not had any issues with it whatsoever. But this is my third floor offering. Let's get up to the sixth floor now. My sixth floor offering is going to be from Tes Sauce. Yes, Tes Sauce. Tes Sauce makes some beautiful, beautiful 1911 style firearms. Absolutely beautiful. And this Tes Sauce 1911 with its hardened stainless steel frame, G10 grip panels, 8-round magazines, which are empty, and the firearm is clear. This is a wonderful, wonderful firearm to shoot for 10 millimeter. With that heavy weight and reduces that recoil so much. We've got a grip safety back here that should be pinned, but I just haven't gotten around to it because it is so big. If you grip that at all, you depress the grip safety. It's got a very positive and ambi thumb safety, both sides. So you can, it's big enough, you can still get your thumb out there and you can still ride that thumb safety really nice. This is absolutely excellent. It has a black Cerakote finish on the slide itself, target adjustable rear sight. I did paint the front sight white just for better target acquisition for me. I like it that way. Zokim sent me these rubber finger grooves for the front of it, which actually fit my fingers perfect. So it's very comfortable for me to shoot. I loaned this to another YouTuber for a review and he didn't like that, but he has much smaller hands than I do. Me, I like the way it wraps in there. That way that grip just comes right into my hand and stays put under recoil. I have done some tuning to the mainsprings to lighten the trigger pull a little bit, and I've played around with recoil springs in here to actually tune this to the average 10 millimeter loads that I play with. Excellent, excellent shooter. You can't go wrong with this. Does not have a bull barrel, but you can use some plus P ammo through this because of, well, it's a stainless steel 1911 and it weighs about 48 ounces. It's a heavy one. But this has been absolutely reliable. Love it. I love taking it out and shooting it. I shoot most of my guns on a regular base and I don't film every time I take them out, but I have put probably 500 to 800 rounds through this and have not had any problems with it whatsoever. It did come with 2 magazines in the box and they're 8-round magazines. So you always need more magazines. And I've only got the 2. So I need to pick up a couple more 10 millimeter magazines for these. So I don't have to stop and reload so much. I can just reload the magazine and keep on going. Well, my pupils, that's it for floor 6. Let's go up to floor 9, which is the top floor in my condominium. On the top floor of my condominium is just a black bag. But there is something really cool inside this black bag. Sure, zipper's back enough. Really cool inside my black bag. And that is my Rock Island Armory 10 millimeter open gun. We're going to kick the magazine out of this. We are going to show it is unloaded. The firearm itself is unloaded. There is nothing in the chamber. What a firearm. Those are Atlas magazines. They worked perfect in this Rock Island Armory double stack high capacity. This thing is a tack driver. I drilled and tapped the frame to put a frame mounted optic on there, optic mount. I've got a Zulisi and that is the Oak Plus in red version on there. A high value optic for a really, really fair price. Zulisi makes some great optics. Gene 1800 will get you something to check out if you go see Zulisi Optics on Amazon. But this firearm has been super fun. It runs like a clock. I've done some hand fitting to it. I've tuned the internals and changed some internals on there. It's got a super light, crisp trigger. It has extended ambi safety on there. It has an extended slide release catch, thumb brake, muzzle compensator. And this thing just runs like a sewing machine. When you get it out there and start playing with it, everybody just freaks out. You know, this is like my Franken gun, I guess, because I've never seen another Rock Island 10 millimeter turned into an open gun. The trigger on this thing is super, super nice, super nice. There's my take up. I've got it right where I want it. Crisp break. Reset. Right there. Just perfect, perfect for me. I've got it tuned in just the way I want it. I played around with the recoil springs in it naturally and the guide rod. This has just been fun, 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 man. I got to get this out in 25 and just do some local events with it, just because it is just so much fun to run. The grips I have on it currently are from Stoner CNC. Matt and Eric Stoner are good friends of mine, and they make all these G10 grips for all of the Rock Islands, even the double stack high capacities. They do a really super job. If you don't see the colors of G10 in their list for these grips themselves, send them an email or give them a call, because they have a super wide selection. I have a video on my channel here where I did a tour of Stoner CNC and showed their 5-axis mills and all the G10 material and all the different products that they feature. Well, my pupils, that's my collection of my 10 millimeter pistols that I own. I've got from the bottom, the 3rd floor, the 6th floor, and then the top floor of my condominium, which will be the 9th. I have a lot of fun with all of them. I enjoy shooting them all. I enjoy them all for what they are. I enjoy the Highpoint for its simplicity and its low cost and its reliability. I enjoy the Smith & Wesson because it's got a tried and true name. I enjoy the Tes Sauce because that is just one heck of a 1911. Tes Sauce is definitely coming up so quickly as far as being a reliable quality component. And then we've got the ever trusty Rock Island. You know, this Rock Island, some people go, oh, it's a Rock Island. And then they see me shoot it, or I let them shoot it, and they go, oh, that's a Rock Island? Yes, that's a Rock Island. Well, I am very pleased with my purchases and my ownership and my little collection. So, you know, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. God be willing, we'll all be here in 2025. But you know, any way it goes, it's only once around the ride. So always remember to keep blowing that smoke.